Hey friends, welcome back to the Daily Dose. We're coming at you with a new book of the Bible today. It's going to be a good time. We're coming up on the book of Joshua. So I'm so glad that we can kick that off today on our 65th day of our Bible plan. So congratulations if you're sticking with us and you made it this far, day number 65. That means Psalm number 65, and that means Joshua. And we're going to be doing chapters 1 through 4 in Joshua. So as per usual, when we start a new book in the Bible, we've got a new video from our friends at the Bible Project. So go down below in the description and click that link. Go check that video out. It'll give you a great kind of summary tutorial primer on what to expect as we go throughout this book, and show them some love. Drop a comment on their page. Show them that you care and that you appreciate them with some social media love. And we will go ahead and jump into today's summary. All right, so we start off seeing that Joshua is being installed basically as the leader to replace Moses. So we read that the Lord speaks to Joshua and passes on the promises that were made to Abraham and to Moses and so on and so forth. So some of these promises that had been made to previous leaders, those promises are passed on to Joshua. Joshua is told, and this is kind of a tagline, a catchline for the whole book of Joshua. One of the more famous verses or famous phrases from the book of Joshua is just to be strong and courageous, right? That's a theme that we'll see over and over again as Joshua prepares to go and fight and battle in the power of the Lord to take the promised land. So he's told to be strong, to be courageous, and basically he's told to tell the people, hey, get ready. In a few days, we're going to cross the Jordan. So you guys get ready. Now, at this time of the year that we're talking about here, I have read that the Jordan River was at a higher stage, a higher level than at other times of the year because of rainfall and things of that nature. So crossing the Jordan at this time wouldn't necessarily have been a super easy feat where you're just like wading across water knee deep, right? From what I've read, this would have been kind of a difficult ordeal, not just something super simple like, walking across a creek or anything like that. So then we come to the story about Rahab and the spies. All right, so who is Rahab and what are these spies doing spying stuff out? So we find out that Joshua secretly sends 2 spies to Jericho, which was one of the towns close to where they were going to be crossing. This would have been one of the first towns that they would have gone up to battle against. So Joshua decides, okay, I'm just going to secretly send a couple of spies over there. We'll see if we can scope out the situation, see if we can gain any information that might be useful to us. I don't think that Joshua was doing this because he had temporarily lost faith. I don't think that Joshua said to himself, okay, I don't know if we can do this. Before I send a bunch of guys over there to fight, I need to go make sure that it looks like we can beat these guys. I don't think it was so much about that. I think it was more so just to see if they could get any information that would be useful to aid them in the battle, just to be more efficient. So when that happens, apparently somebody tells the king of Jericho, hey, I saw these guys come in. They didn't look like anybody we'd seen before. And in fact, it looked like they may have been from these Israelites that we've heard rumors about that were coming this way. So somebody tells the king, basically, that there appear to be some spies that snuck in. So now the king is like up in arms. He's scared, and he's trying to figure out, okay, we got to get to the bottom of this. We can't let them get back and go report to their people anything that they've seen here. So it happens that Rahab ends up covering for these spies. We're told that Rahab is a resident of the town. She is a harlot or a prostitute, and she lives in the wall of Jericho. So, they built walls around cities back then, but in Jericho, they actually had homes that were built into the wall at various places. So Rahab happened to have a home that was built into this protective wall that goes around the city, right? So she ends up, she tells these spies how afraid the people are. She's like, yeah, the Lord has put the fear of you guys in the hearts of everybody in this town. And she's kind of spilling the beans that everybody's totally terrified. The morale's not good in Jericho and that they're scared. So she ends up making a deal to save her family. She has got faith in their God. She believes that their God is going to give them the land. She believes that Jericho is going down. She believes that the promises that God gave to his people are coming true, right? And because of that, she knows, hey, I'm in danger. My life is in jeopardy here. So she makes a deal with them and says, look, if you will keep me safe and my family safe, I'll protect you guys. I won't tell anybody about you. And we will solidify kind of a little covenant, a little deal right here. Your safety for ours and vice versa. So her sign, whenever the battle began, whenever it is that the Israelites come to battle and come to take down the city, the sign that Rahab would do is she would take a scarlet cord and hang it out of her window. And then the Israelites would see the scarlet cord from a distance, and they would realize, okay, hey, those are the people that we need to keep safe. Those are the people who we made the agreement with. So that was kind of the sign, this scarlet cord. So then we get to the point where it's time to cross the Jordan. So the Israelites went to the Jordan. They camped out there before crossing. The Levites would sit out first. They'd be guided by the Lord, we're told. The army would follow accordingly. So the Levites would be carrying the Ark of the Covenant, right? So this big box thing that had Aaron's staff in it. It had the jar of manna. It had the 10 Commandments. This Ark of the Covenant. It would be carried on these poles. So they would be carrying that, leading the army. When they get to the Jordan River, we're told that as soon as the feet of these Levites carrying the ark, as soon as their feet touch the water, that the river splits. So very similar to what happened to the Red Sea. We're told that the Jordan River splits. So the men cross, the people in the army, everybody crosses over. When they do, we're told that the men get 12 stones to represent each of the 12 tribes. And they stack these stones and make kind of an altar or a monument to remember what happened here. We read that there are 40,000 men armed for battle. 40,000 men. It's a lot of people. And we read that once all of these people go through the river, that the Levites exit. And when the Levites exit the river, then the Jordan comes back together, kind of how it was to begin with. So one thing that I want you guys to take note of is that in the genealogies of Jesus in the New Testament, we read Rahab's name in those genealogies, right? So Rahab, she was a Canaanite. She was from Jericho. It appears that she was a pagan. She was a prostitute. Yet she is in the lineage leading to Jesus, right? Ruth, later on, we haven't read that yet, but later on, we read about Ruth, who was a Moabitess, right? She wasn't a Jewish girl. We come to find out that she is in the lineage leading down to Jesus, right? And you know who else we read about in the lineage? Bathsheba, right? That was essentially the woman that David raped and got pregnant. And when I think about these particular people who seem unlikely to be in the lineage of Jesus, what that tells me is that God oftentimes uses the unexpected, the people that we wouldn't think. He includes the people who are sinners in his plan. Rahab the prostitute, right? Her faith, not only did her faith save her in this situation, but her faith ended up getting her a place in the genealogy leading up to Jesus, right? Same thing with Ruth. She wasn't a Jew, but through faith, the Lord blessed her and included her in the genealogy. So friends, let me just leave you with that. No matter what you've done, no matter who you are, no matter what kind of crimes you've committed, no matter what kind of habits you have, the Lord wants to bring you into his kingdom and into his family. So let's be joyful in that. Let's rejoice in that. And let's do this again tomorrow, friends. Have a great day. Love you guys. Deuces.